Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is, I think we had to change the name of this church to The Remnant because there's so many faithful that this is like I see so many faces of people that, I haven't seen in years, and all of a sudden you're here, and it's neat. It's awesome. We're seeing this in other places around the state, around the country too, churches where really the faithful is coming together saying, we're not going to take this anymore. I was asked by Lloyd a little earlier, says, so are we going to win all this? I said, well, thinking like, there's a whole lot going on right now, right? We're so busy with what we're dealing with right now with all the COVID litigation, churches, et cetera. We're not involved in the Trump litigation. I don't know what's going to happen there. Keep praying. But with regard to what's happening with churches and religious liberty, that's our focus. Purpose of our organization is to defend the First Amendment right to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. And it's under assault. If you've ever, if you've lived long enough, you're going to know, you'll see you've experienced it. Why are we meeting here okay and you don't have any problems? Because we're in Riverside County. It's because of who we've elected. Got a sheriff, got a district attorney. Both guys are Christians, good folks that are saying, we're not going to do anything about this stuff. However, let's go to Ventura County. Pastor Rob McCoy, a case that you guys have probably heard about. Pastor Rob was one of the first pastors threatened with arrest. They got a restraining order against him. We've been defending him. We're in litigation. We're going against the governor. We're going against the county, trying to uncover documents. We want to get emails and text messages and try to, uncover the hypocrisy behind it all. Things like Gavin Newsom going to a birthday party with 12 people who's not part of his family, and those kinds of things. And so Pastor Rob, he's up in Ventura County. Some of you guys were here. We actually, you saw church service from Tim when he was standing outside and out on the grass in front of Rob's church the day that we didn't know what was going to happen, if they were actually going to come arrest him, because he said, I'm not going to consent to following this restraining order. And so he's been meeting. We went and we had a contempt trial, and I defended him in the contempt trial. And thankfully, we had a good judge, and he didn't want to have to do this, but he sanctioned the church $3,000. One of the things that we were able to show is that the people who came, the enforcement people who came, they were in a car together, not part of the same family, shoulder to shoulder, not wearing masks. And we had pictures of it all. It was wonderful. It was great. The hypocrisy of it all is disgusting and sickening. But Ventura County, they've backed off, and they went down that road, and they saw we're not going to back down, and we don't want to make Rob a martyr. So next case, Calvary Chapel, San Jose. Here's a tough situation. Over $400,000 in fines right now. Pastor Mike has said, I will go to jail. If that's what it takes. A restraining order was issued in the state about 2 weeks ago. We defended against that. Of course, the judges are afraid to do anything right now, folks. That's really what it comes down to. They're afraid to go against the governor. They're afraid to go against conventional wisdom, despite all of the legitimate constitutional arguments that we raise. We had previously filed a lawsuit in federal court. We are actually going into court in federal court tomorrow with a new motion to get a restraining order against the state court judge. Now, are we going to get it or not? Probably not. Are we going to win in the Ninth Circuit? Probably not. Are we going to win in the U.S. Supreme Court? Possibly. I'm hoping. That's what our target is right now. It's one of these tough things where in all of these cases, our target has to be the U.S. Supreme Court. Otherwise, because everywhere else, these judges are afraid to do anything. So pray for Pastor Mike. Jim Domen, next case. On December 12th, we're going to be arguing a case for Jim Domen. You guys probably know Jim. How are you guys affiliated with all these people getting in trouble all the time? So Jim, it's Tim. You guys are, I don't know. So Jim's been here. Jim's spoken. Jim's former homosexual pastor. We filed a lawsuit on Jim's behalf because he was deplatformed by Vimeo, the social media organization. And they said, you can't be here any longer. So they didn't like what his message was. So we sued him for discrimination based upon sexual orientation and religion. And you can't do that. If you're a business, you can't do that in the state, theoretically. So Vimeo's doing business in the state, so we sued them. And now we're actually in New York, because that's where they're based out of. So we're in the Second Circuit of New York, which is just below the Supreme Court. And we are arguing the same issue that you guys have all heard about 3-4 weeks ago, about all the social media discrimination and the Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. That's what this case is all about. This is the case. And we argue it on the 12th. Please pray that maybe we might be able to win this one. And if not, we'll take it up, go to the Supreme Court if we have to. I don't know of any other cases at this level with regard to this case. Next slide. Have you heard about the America's Frontline Doctors? So we're planning on bringing a lawsuit on their behalf within the next few weeks against Governor Newsom to overturn the COVID bans. And what do you think? A bunch of doctors saying this is ridiculous? Yeah. Next slide. How about getting cited with a misdemeanor for doing baptisms in Huntington Beach? So Pastor Parker Green had a thing they were doing 4 weeks. They did worship out on the beach, of all places, right? You got the wind, it's safe, right? According to this. And they did baptisms. But look at that unlawful gathering of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, all, maybe 8, all there in the water. How dangerous that is. So they got cited for misdemeanor. We're suing on his behalf real soon and defending him on the misdemeanor. Next. This is kind of my favorite. LA teacher, we're going to sue the LA Teachers Union, LA Unified School District, planning this week. So, Tim, that's it. So pray for these cases. We really appreciate your prayer. We need it. You guys are supporters of our ministry, and this church is. If you want any more information, you can go to faith-freedom.com.